Hello everyone, Judah here, and welcome to another episode of the RageCast. Today I'm going to be talking about Warlords of Draenor and whether I think it will save or kill WoW as we know it. Please keep in mind that what I'm talking about is in my opinion and everything is subject to change. So stay tuned while I tell you my thoughts on the upcoming World of Warcraft expansion. Enjoy. Also make sure to read the text during the video to learn about this week's giveaway. Warlords of Draenor. 10 new levels of content, garrisons, a new world, new models, time travel, and so much more. Last year at BlizzCon we were told that Warlords was set to be a quicker, less content expansion, and while you may be bummed out about that, could be the very thing that saved WoW from losing its player base. We all know that WoW doesn't have the same massive players it had a few years ago. Part of the reason for this, in my total opinion, is because players don't think that they're getting enough content, or they're just getting plain bored with the game after a few months of an expansion. What we do know is that Blizzard has a larger team working on Warlords. They even snatched a few devs off their Project Titan to come work on Warlords. Now what does this mean for us? It means that the expansion will come out quicker. With faster releasing content, players won't stay with WoW for such a minimal time, but for quite a bit longer. Because once they're done with an expansion and they're bored and they've gone through it, they'll already have heard of a new one in development. I believe this is Blizzard's new way of keeping a larger fan base together. Now, I personally can't wait for Draenor. It has so much potential of pleasing two crowds. You know, people who are unsatisfied with 400k crits and don't want to see everyone be this huge monster that can dominate anything. Blizzard knows that it's important for us. They don't just, stick with the same thing every expansion. Imagine 3 expansions from now, if Blizzard didn't do the item squish. We'd be doing at least 2 million damage, and, just imagine what our health would be at. Anyways, my point is that Warlords has the chance of becoming either a game that's going to kill WoW or save WoW. We're traveling back into a world that will seem familiar to us. Even though it's not exact, that's good, because we still want a land to explore. So now that I've covered lots of the good and excitement for Warlords, it's time to explain what I'm not too pumped for. First thing I want to point out is the instant boost to 90. I think this has a good and a bad to it. Sure, it'll be fun to have another high-level character, maybe a class you've never played. It's also important to note that everyone in the game will have a level 90. Doesn't that suck the fun out of being new to a game? I remember when I first started WoW and, asking people for help at my low level, people would be glad to help me because I was like level 5 or something. With that being said, now the beginners of WoW will level with you. When you add in the income of new and existing players, you'll have close to 3.0 million copies sold. Miss Pandaria sold 2.7 million copies, Cataclysm having sold 3.3 million. I don't know about you, but I love helping beginners get started with the game. It's a great way to help the WoW community and, all that stuff. With that being said, I don't want a bunch of whispers and endgame content of people asking for help. I do play mainly on a high population server, so it's not unlikely for this to happen to you or me. That being said, I could be completely wrong on this. I personally feel that this is one step towards WoW becoming a free-to-play game. Handing players a player that's already, run through 4 levels, 4 content expansions, not even including vanilla WoW, it's a bit pointless to me, and it just seems like they're handing them the game. Again, there are upsides, as I mentioned before, but, I could definitely live without an instant 90. I do want to talk about my thoughts on the new World PvP zone and all the new changes to player versus player content. If you haven't already heard of it, here's a little excerpt from PvP's section on the Warlords of Draenor site. The Battlegrounds scoreboard is being updated to provide better insight to your performance in Battlegrounds. A new stat called Battlegrounds Score will take place into your account objective-based system you engage in, such as returning flags, interrupting objective captures, healing, doing damage, and more. That sounds pretty good in my mind. WoW has started to lean towards a PvE type game in my total opinion, so I'm glad they're taking effect in PvP. Now I'm not going to go over the specifics of the new PvP system. I'll save that for another video. They also mentioned a bit of cross-server stuff, but never went too in-depth about it. They did mention, though, that our pool of players would be bigger than ever, which sounds awesome, of course, to me, as long as it's savage. The next thing I want to go over is garrisons, which I think will be a pretty interesting feature for WoW. I can definitely see it being something players spend lots of time on and want to progress as they play the game, which is great. However, what I'm afraid of happening is garrisons becoming a player's main focus. WoW isn't a strategy build-a-base type of game, not at all, actually. But the problem with garrisons, in my mind, is that it'll turn into being a buy-to-win feature in a year or two, meaning that I can buy extra minions or followers or whatever for my garrison. This kind of stuff, especially in a game like WoW, will really draw me away from it. And another thing that I wanted to bring up that I do like about Warlords is just that, you know, we're going to be exploring a world that's, sure, it'll seem familiar to us, but it's going to look great, and it's going to look even better than Pandaria, and you know, I know Pandaria looked incredible to me, because, you know, WoW has this kind of cartoony graphic that, you know, I like it, personally. WoW's never been a game that just has, you know, incredible, outstanding graphics, because if you could imagine WoW with great graphics, I just feel like it wouldn't be the same game it is, because, you know, keeping that same look and feel, I think that's really what keeps players staying. Then of course we have the new dungeons, raids, level cap, and all that stuff. I'm not much of a PvE guy, so instead of jamming it into this video and humiliating myself with all that I don't know about PvE, I'll save that for another video, and I've done more research on PvE and the aspect of Warlords. Honestly, after going over all that, I have really high hopes for WoW. I think we'll have plenty of content to be excited for, and with the beta coming most likely a few months, we're not far from learning a bunch more about it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Sorry to keep it short. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. During the 3rd week of January, we're supposed to be getting some more updated models and beta information. Also remember, that kind of stuff isn't typically posted on the WoW website, so unless you want to hunt and peck for it, just swing by the channel. We'll give you the rundown and screenshots, or just follow us on Twitter. Make sure to stay tuned for more, and to check out our Warlords of Draenor gameplay from BlizzCon in the link below. We have many more videos coming your way, including us going more in-depth on Warlords and how we think it'll keep up with WoW and gaming in general. So comment, rate, and subscribe, and we hope we'll see you next time on the RageCast.